Be sure to follow us on TikTok at MysticSage1 for daily anime content.
Kai Chisaikai, aka Overhaul, is the main antagonist of the first part of Season 4 of My Hero Academia. He's the captain of the Shie Hassaikai, which is a Yakuza group in the MHA universe. His arc basically consists of him trying to develop a drug that removes people's quirks, because he sees quirks as a plague on society. According to him, the people use their quirks as like a sickness, either for fame and heroism or for petty crime. In my opinion, this was one of the most engaging arcs in the anime, especially for the earlier part of the story as opposed to where the manga is now. And Chisaikai himself as a character is the element that makes this a good story arc. So today, I want to explore what makes him such a great villain. Remember, you don't need to like or agree with someone as a person to find them an enjoyable character. There will be spoilers for this whole arc of the anime, so be careful if you haven't gotten that far yet. Let's start with Overhaul, the quirk that gave Chisaikai his villain name and persona. Overhaul allows the user to rearrange the physical makeup of something. For example, Chisaikai can touch the ground and cause it to shoot up spikes, making it difficult to navigate and putting space between himself and his opponents. This gives him a major advantage, since he can pretty much do whatever he wants to the battlefield just by touching it. He can also destroy people's bodies entirely just by touching them. His intelligence and Yakuza background comes into play when it comes to harming humans though, because he can also restore things like decimated body parts. Essentially, this boils down to torture. Chisaikai will ruin a limb or other body part, causing intense pain, then restore the body back to how it was to erase any evidence. The third power that Overhaul has is the ability to change his own body through absorbing the bodies of others. He has used this power to gain more limbs, giving his quirk extra power due to being activated through his hands. With another person's physical matter added to his body, he also gains strength and speed, as well as on some occasions, their quirks. He fused himself with Shinimoto, one of the Shie Hassaikai 8 bullets, and gained his confession quirk towards the end of the arc. This all helps make Overhaul a great villain, specifically because it's a scary power. If you're within touching range, he can torture you, kill you, mutilate you, or absorb you into his own body. For the heroes that are close combat fighters, we as an audience are afraid for them, because we know it will be difficult for them to fight him without becoming a casualty themselves. Where he truly becomes interesting though, is with his personality. Overhaul is incredibly ruthless, caring only about others when they serve a purpose towards his goals. The biggest example of this is the way he treats Eri, who's an innocent and sweet child. He exploits her for her quirk because he can use it to create the quirk erasing drug. He doesn't care at all about raising her or taking care of her. All she is to him is a tool for his twisted plans. For the audience, this is great because it gives us a concrete reason to straight up hate the guy. And that means we identify more strongly with the protagonists who want to defeat him, and who feel protective towards Eri. Some villains like Stain give us some morally gray story, where we know he's doing wrong, but kind of has a point. Chisaikai is just disgusting in the way he relates to people, and that clear division between him and the heroes is refreshing. It gives the story more elements, since it does sometimes get somewhat tiring having our morals questioned through those anti-hero type of villains that MHA does so well. The only person Overhaul shows any kind of respect to is his boss in the Yakuza. The boss took in Chisaikai as a child and gave him a life in organized crime, so Chisaikai feels that he owes the boss his life. However, the way he shows this is also pretty messed up. When the boss didn't agree with what he wanted to do with the quirk eraser drug, he put the guy in a coma. Overhaul clearly believes this is for the best for the Shie Hassaikai, since the removal of quirks will allow quote-unquote traditional criminals to rise to the top of the pack, and he intends to only wake up the boss once he's achieved this. There's no way of justifying this whole thing, and the fact that he's so corrupt and selfish in how he deals with the situation makes him more obviously a villain and not just another misfit. Even when his own father figure is in the way of his plan, he takes him out of the equation. In fact, there's really no point in this story that we even feel a little sorry for him. It goes as far as making us feel empathy towards the League of Villains, who are also treated like dirt by him. Up to this point, we do get an impression of the League as something of a family and how they support each other, and some of the characters are likable. But mostly, they are opponents to the UA students. With the Shie Hassaikai arc though, we start to feel sorry for them, and gain a sense of their own morals and how much they care about each other. The fact that even the series' main villains also hate Overhaul and how he works, gives the audience a strong emotional reaction. It's almost like we're all teaming up together against him, like a truce. It's a fun dynamic for us to be able to watch, and it gives us a break from the usual formula of the show. While Overhaul is trying to use the League of Villains, the real turning point comes when Magna is killed. By directly harming the odd family that makes up the League, Hassaikai ended up turning them against him. From this moment, we see how much the League cares about each other, especially Toga, Twice, and Magna. And we get a strong sense of them being a misfit family as opposed to an organized crime unit. This makes us like them much more because it gives them depth and more relatable aspects to their personalities. In terms of the League of Villains, Hasaikai's involvement with them sets them up for later parts in the story, because we know now to give them more credit for their morals and hearts. That depth carries through, and we have more reason to engage with them throughout the show. So not only did Overhaul give the show in general a change to its formula, he also gave the League of Villains a similar change. When they finally get their revenge by destroying his arms so he can't use his quirk, we feel a sense of victory over him along with them. It's poetic justice that what the League chose to do to him was what he planned to do to society as a whole, and the horrified expression on his face when they do, it is incredibly satisfying. Overhaul has several sides to his personality that ending up with him being pathetic, broken, and defeated is a genuinely nice piece of story written by Horikoshi. By this, I mean that we're introduced to him as this calm, merciless leader. He's well-dressed, clean, and polite for the most part. He's very composed in how he deals with people, looking down on pretty much everyone and manipulating them with ease. However, he also has mesophobia, or a phobia of germs. Side note, I don't want to speak badly of anyone having any kind of phobia because it can be very difficult to deal with and take a lot of work to manage. Hasaikai's phobia does go a level beyond though, and paired with his lack of empathy towards others, has led him to a life dedicated to exploiting Eri, to get rid of everyone's quirks for good. So on the one hand, his germ phobia is his motivation, but it's also his weakness, and it's one that's unique among the rest of the cast. We see him go from this composed evil leader to a half-insane caricature of himself due to his phobia. It adds to the dynamic and engaging nature of the arc because it's so different to what the other villains are motivated by, and what they're afraid of. It gives us a true insight into how his mind works. Underneath his calm exterior is his illness he's struggling with, and the natural conclusion to this inner contrast is for him to snap completely, much the same as we've seen in the backstory of many other villains. So for those villains, to be the one to drive him there isn't itself interesting, and more so when you consider the fact they target his strength, his quirk, rather than his phobia to do so. I hope that gives you an idea of why I think Overhaul is a great villain. He drives the story in a direction we haven't seen before, and gives the audience strong emotional reactions to everything he does. It's a fantastic story arc in my opinion. But what about you? Do you like Overhaul as a villain? Let me know what you think in the comments below, and stick around for more MHA content coming your way. Hey guys, before the video closes out, I just want to thank you so much for bringing your support over here on Mystic Sage. I upload every Saturday and Sunday and strive to bring you guys a review and some fun discussion content, so your viewership means the world. Also, if you want a little more from Mystic Sage, head on over to TikTok and check us out over there for more fun, bite-sized anime videos. I've also got an Amazon store where I sell tons of cool anime merch, so check it out. For real this time though, thanks again for watching. I'm Mystic Sage, and I'll see you next time with some more great anime content.